How did we get here? Another fight over every little issue. Another slammed door. Another broken promise. Oh, my son used to tell me everything. But now, I barely know what's going on in his life. Was I too hard on him? Was I too harsh? Was I too lenient? Oh, I feel like I'm losing it. Oh, but he won't talk to me. Every time I try, I get shut down. I know it's hard. Things don't always communicate like we want them to. But, oh, silence is also a cry too. Could it be there is something wrong? Why will my child be so silent? Or maybe that cry needs to be heard before it turns into something even harder to fix. Hello, amazing parents. You're welcome to our Thursday Live with Amarachi Eze. So if you're here, say hello to us. Let's know you're here with us. Tell us where you're watching from. Yes, it's Thursday Live. Go out there. We're talking about our teenagers. Why do teenagers rebel? And what can we do to rebuild our connection with them? So if you're online, please tell us where you're watching us from so that we'll start our live class. Yes, if you watch that little playlet, it's titled The Unheard Cry. This is the cry of so many parents with teenagers. Sometimes they are confused that once in a while their child becomes silent, while the other time they were able to communicate with them. Okay, I can see my favor Adeze. You're welcome, Ma. You're welcome. I'm glad you're here. Yes, as many as online, tell us hello. Tell us where you're streaming from. Yes, it's Thursday Live with Amarachi Eze. I'm streaming live from Port Harcourt. Favor is from Abuja. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for making it. So let's go get to the WhatsApp group. Let's go call every parent. Everyone needs to be here so that we will all communicate or converse on this topic together. So from that playlet, if this sounds like you, I want you to stay with me today because we are going to be talking about teens rebellion and most importantly, how we can connect before it's too late. Because every child needs to be seen, every child needs to be heard, every child needs to be understood. So let's know where we're getting it wrong with our teenagers. Okay, let me introduce myself. For those that don't know me, my name is Amarachi Eze. I'm a family life coach and the founder of Jordan Family and Parenting Wisdom Academy. It's a coaching platform that helps couples to navigate family issues. And I also help parents to build strong, stress-free relationship with their kids. So that is why we're here. So if you're struggling to connect with your child, whether your child is 1, whether it's 5, 10, or 15 years, this section is for you. So go ahead, invite other parents. And also, most importantly, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on our parenting journey. Okay, Joanne Olinze, watching from Warri, thank you for always joining us. You're welcome. You're welcome. So we'll be going straight to our topic. Why do teenagers rebel? Why do teenagers rebel? I'll be putting on my slide. Why do teenagers rebel? And how do we rebuild this connection before it's too late? So it is important for us to understand the root cause of a thing. If you understand the cause, you will be able to tackle it. So understanding the root cause of something is going to help us approach it with wisdom instead of with frustration. Yes, some behaviors our children exhibit can bring about frustration to us if we don't understand it. If you don't understand why your child is behaving that way, it can be frustrating. So our being able to understand this is going to go a long way to help us tackle the problem with wisdom. So why do teens rebel? Hope you can see my slide. Hope we can see my slide and also you can hear me. If you can see my slide and you can hear me, please let me know. So we'll continue. Okay? Why do teens rebel? I said earlier, when we understand the root cause of something, it's going to help us to approach it with wisdom instead of frustration. The Bible will always say that in all your gettings, get understanding. There is a reason, so that you will not feel frustrated. So the very reason why our teens rebel, the first thing is they are seeking for desire for independence. Yes, your teen is no longer a child, neither is your teen an adult. So their teenage is a stage of transition into adulthood. So they are no longer children and they are not also adults. They have not gained the capacity to make the right decision. So during this phase of transition, they want to make their own decision. So what can we do as parents to help them make wise decisions? We need to start from when they are little. So that is why it is important that we teach them values. In our consult, there is something we talk about, which is creating family values in our homes. We start this from as when they are young as possible, so that when they get to this teen age where they desire independence, you've already equipped them with the values that they need to know, the values that they need to imbibe with to get to make wise decisions when they get to this age where they are desiring independence. But if you don't do that, you see parents at this stage, they begin to panic. And with that panic, they want to take charge of everything. They want to look into every affair that their child is being involved in. And when you do this, your child will want to resist you. Your child will want to push back. So one of the reasons why teens rebel is that they are seeking for desire for independence. So another reason why our teens rebel is because of emotional and hormonal changes. See, as these children are growing, there is this surge of hormones in them. If it is for male, yes, we know male hormone is testosterone. That of female is estrogen. So all these things there is an increase in them. And this thing, it brings about what? Changes in their mood. So this hormone, yes, is a necessity for them to grow into adulthood. It's going to be there. Then also we need to note that their brains are also still developing. There is the part of the brain we call the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain that helps us to reason. It's the part of the brain that helps us to think. So in teenagers, this part of the brain is not yet fully developed. So sometimes they make our decisions based on their emotions. So their emotions often run ahead of logic. They make decisions based on their emotions. They don't want to think of the logic because their prefrontal cortex are still developing. So this makes them to make decisions impulsively. So it's another reason your child may be rebelling. Then the next thing is lack of connection and trust. Lack of connection and trust. Yes, before you will be able to correct your child, there is a need for you to connect first. You will need to connect first. That is what we do in our parenting coaching section. We give out tools for parents to connect early with their children, so that when they get to this stage, they've already built this connection. They've already built this trust. But if you want to correct them first without connecting, it's going to be difficult. Why? They've not built this trust with you. Or even when they were much younger, as they are coming closer, because you feel you don't have the time, you push them away. Then when they reach this teen age, you want to bring them closer. It's not going to work that way. So if you're a beneficiary of that parenting coaching grant, please and please, I want to plead with you that you take those tools very seriously. You may feel that nothing is happening now, but in that teenage age, that is what is going to help you. So if you're privileged to have access to these grants for free, please don't play with those tools. Make sure you carry it out. Make sure you also give your feedback so that we can all interact and grow together. Then for those that are not in that group, the only thing you can do for you to join us is that you need to pay for it. Yes, you need to pay with a fee. I think since January till beginning of February, it was free. But in case you missed that opportunity, you can also join us, but that will be with a fee. So teens, they always feel unheard. Sometimes they feel misunderstood. They are constantly criticized by their parents, by their caregivers, by teachers. And this most times will make them to stop talking, and they will start resisting you. So that is why most parents, you hear them complaining, oh, every time I keep talking to this child, since he was a child, since he was a boy. But the thing is that you have only been talking. You have not been connecting with this child. So it's important for us to note that every child wants to be seen, every child wants to be heard, and every child wants to be understood. So how do we do this as a parent? Is by what? Giving them listening ears. So this could be one of the reasons why your child is rebelling. Then another reason is that of influence of friends and social media. This can also make a child rebel. So teenagers at this their age, they thrive together, they want to be in a group. And that's how they thrive. So they thrive in groups, and they are also yearning for belonging. So if you don't find them, or if they are not able to find this sense of belonging in the home, maybe anytime they want to interact with the parents chase them away. Please, I'm very busy. And they don't find this sense of belonging in the house, they're going to move out. And sometimes when they move out, they go to find it elsewhere. And sometimes they may go to the wrong places to find it. If you have not done your work earlier, if you have not taught them the values they need to know right from when they were growing up, they will find this belonging in the wrong place. So teens can misbehave, can rebel because of their influence of their friends and also social media. Then the next reason why your teen can rebel is when there is over control and harsh discipline. Yes, you see, sometimes you see parents, they want to control everything about their children. Oh, this can be too difficult. A parent wants to know, oh, what is happening in my child's life? You don't want once your child lifts hand, you want to know, oh, what is that? When you over control, it's going to affect your child. There is something we call saboteurs. What are these saboteurs? These are survival behaviors that your child developed while your child is growing up. These survival strategies, they are the things that help your child. Your child wants to feel loved. Your child wants to be mommy's boy or daddy's boy. So if the only thing that will make the child to feel love is to obey mommy. Your child wants to do that. If the only thing to grab your attention as the mom or the dad is for your child to behave, your child will want to do that. So that was what helped your child survive when the child was a child. But as the child keeps growing, these saboteurs will either make the child to be a people pleaser. That's if you are always in the act of controlling your child. Oh yeah, do it this way, do it this way. You are not allowing this child to think for himself. You're not allowing this child to make his or her suggestions. So when the child grows, the child is going to become a people pleaser. Why? Those survival strategies that make the child feel loved, that make the child get attention from mom or dad, they are no longer serving the child. So when the child becomes a teenager, it's difficult for the child to maybe say his or her own thoughts. So he wants to please everybody. So I believe some of us are seeing our nature, even as parents. Sometimes you are not able to speak out. You're not outspoken. Why? You are pleasing. The saboteur you developed as a child is still what controlling your life. Then also another saboteur that can arise from that is either the child become a people pleaser or the person becomes a controller. You want to control other people in a harsh way. So these are the things that can arise when we over control our children or when we use harsh discipline on them. Then another thing that can happen when we over control is that it brings about the 4 R's of negative discipline. When you over control a child, it's going to bring about 4 R's of negative discipline. So what's these 4 R's talking about? The first one talks about resentment. When you over control your child, it's going to bring about either resentment, it's going to bring about revenge, it's going to bring about rebellion, or your child will retreat. So what do I mean? Resentment means your child is going to say, oh, mommy, this thing you're doing is unfair. Or maybe I should not even trust adults. So the way you relate with your child, if especially what you use is negative discipline. What do I mean by negative discipline? Every time you're hitting your child, every time you're shouting down on your child, every time you want to control everything concerning your child's life without giving your child room for suggestions, without giving your child room to make decisions, it's going to bring about resentment. The child will keep saying, this is unfair. I don't know if your child has ever said that to you. Once in a while, my child, when I do maybe some of those things, he's going to tell me, mommy, is unfair. So the 4 R's of negative discipline, one talks about resentment. Your child is going to tell you it's unfair. Then the second thing, it can bring about revenge. The child will tell you, oh, now you're winning, but someday I will get even. Someday me, I will retaliate too. So your child will revenge. I don't know if somebody you've seen maybe a father who is sick and the son is taking care of him. And most times you see that you're not even seeing any empathy, no connection, no like love or relationship the child giving to the man. That is because of over control of how the man or the discipline, in quotes, the harsh discipline parents give to their children. So later in life, they will do what? Revenge. Then another negative discipline that can come up is that of rebellion, which is what we are talking about. Your child is going to shut down. He will tell you, okay, I will show you. In rebellion, your child will tell you, oh, I will show you what is it that you can do. You see, when you talk to children, sometimes I teach in teenage class, there will be a time you talk to them, tell them do this thing. They'll just be looking at you. They want to know, what can you do? What are you going to do? So that is what over control, that is also what harsh discipline can bring about. The child wants to rebel. Oh, this thing, let me even see what you can do. You feel you're an adult and you can say anything. So they challenge you. Some people even go to the extent of fighting. Yes, fighting the teacher. Then another thing harsh discipline over control can do is that it will make the child to retreat. What do I mean? To retreat. The child may even start lying. The child will hide so that you will not know, oh, this is what he or she wants to do the next time. So what strict rules will do is that when you give strict rule or your discipline, your harsh discipline without connection, is always going to lead to secretive behavior. Your child wants to hide anything he wants to do. He's not going to put you in the show. So that is why it is very important to connect with your child. So for those that are in the parenting coaching program, please, what I am giving you free of charge. It's what's going to help you in the long run. When your children become teenagers, you may not face this. Why? You connected with them earlier on. And when you connect with them, when they face difficulties, they come back to you. So I want us to take that program, please, seriously. Take it very serious. Then if there's any experience you have with your child, share with us. Share with us. It can help another parent. It can evoke discussions. It can bring about questions so that we all interact together and also grow together. Then there is this testimony I heard in my church. Yes, even though it was funny, but that is how teenagers behave. It was the man that was sharing a testimony of his son, his teenage son, who he told the child he needs to start coming to the church. Yes, I'm a Dunamite. I attend Dunamis. So that was one of the testimonies we heard sometime last week. So he told the child, you need to start coming to Dunamis. And the child said, okay, I need to pray. I need to pray to know what God is saying. Yes, that is how teenagers behave. Yes, Favor say I remember. Yes, so that's which the father did. What the dad did, he didn't want to force the child. That was a good one, but he allowed the child. Maybe the child prayed. After praying, and God spoke to the child. And I want to tell you that child, do you think that the child will go back on that decision he has made? The child will not go back. But if it is that the father forced the child, then I tell you, maybe before you know it, the child will be in the church, yet is not participating in what is happening in the church. The child will just say, okay, that's what my dad wants. And the dad he would just follow the dad. He may still be in the church and be doing the wrong things. But the father gave him that liberty, and the child was able to maybe hear from God, and he was convinced. And I want to tell you that child is going to what? He will try his best to serve God. Why? He was not compelled to do that. That was his decision. So for us to help our children, we need to allow them, especially when they become teens. Let them make their decisions. Let them make their choices. But if they make the wrong one, then you correct them in love. You give them reasons, why this should not be so. You tell them this is not part of our family values, if you have already taught them right from the beginning what your values are. So if you build connection first, it's always easier for you to correct teenagers. So I don't know, with these five reasons why teens rebel, I don't know if anybody has had an experience with his or her child. Have you noticed any of these things in your teens? Have you? If you have, you can drop a yes in our comment section. Or if what I'm saying is making sense, you can drop us a yes. Let's know we're all here together. So I'm waiting for us. Drop a yes. It makes sense. Drop a yes. I've noticed this in my child. So let me know before we move into how we can rebuild our connection before it's too late. I'm still waiting. Okay, let's quickly go. How do we rebuild connection with our teens before it is too late? Okay, Favor, thank you. Yes, so it's making sense. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad it's making sense to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Joanne, thank you. It's making sense. Thank you. Okay, so how do we begin to rebuild connection before it's too late? Now that we have seen the reasons why teens rebel, how do we fix it? So here are 5 ways we can do that so that we don't completely shut them out. The first thing is we need to prioritize listening over lecturing. See, these children have seen things, they have heard things, even that we do not know or expect. You see, we're in the age of internet. So the children, they read so many things. They know so many things that we're not even aware of. So we need to prioritize listening over lecturing. So anytime we have our time together, it's time for us to have conversations. It's time for us to discuss with them. It's not time for us to tell, oh, this is how you should do it. This is what the Bible tells us. This is this. You keep teaching, you keep lecturing. What they need is what? Conversation. And when you're conversing with them, try to do more of listening. Listen to them. Try to understand their own viewpoints about something. It could be something that is trending for them. Okay, blessed Kes, you're welcome. Watching from Worry, you're welcome. So try to what? Listen to get their own viewpoint. Why do they maybe want to do this? Try to get it. So from there, you can even chip in 1 or 2 things. Why what they are doing is right, or why what they are doing is not the right thing. So when we do this, it makes them to feel heard. And it makes them to feel that they are in charge. They are the one making their decisions themselves. So that is one way to rebuild connection with them. Also, when they are talking, it's not time for you to rush them. It's not time to correct and also judge them. Do more of listening. Even if you're not able, maybe the person is getting it wrong at that time. Even when you're not able to correct at that particular time, you can fix a section where both of you will also trash whatever the issue is. So we can also use questions like, okay, or tell me more of these things. We can use questions like, okay, what do you think about this? Maybe there is a happening, the boys in their schools are making, their dread. And maybe your child wants to join. You can tell me, okay, so what do you think about this? So to get your child's view on that. You get your child's view, then know, okay, how can I chip in? Or people that make this type of hair, what do the society classify them as? So depending on what the discussion is. So try to give them open questions so that both of you can interact. Then another way to rebuild connection, instead of enforcing rules without explanation, involve them in decision making. So you've heard that at that stage, they want to make their own decisions. So for instance, let's use media as an example. You see, sometimes if you didn't control this media from childhood, it's going to be difficult for them. So if you want to rebuild connection with them, you tell them, okay, How do we set boundaries around our screen time? You can tell them, you see how this screen time is really affecting you in your academics. You can see how screen time is maybe making you every time you're sleeping. Why? You slept late last night. So how do you think we can adjust our screen time so that it does not affect us? So you allow them, instead of enforcing that rule, let it be that it's mommy or daddy that made the rule. Try to allow them to create boundaries so that they will feel empowered that they are the one making the decision. Hope we get that. Then another way we can rebuild connection is to create bonding moments. Very, very important. If you bond today, tomorrow they will still come back to you. But if you don't bond today, it's going to be difficult. So we can do things like you can maybe go on a car ride with your son, with your daughter. You can have late night talks. Yes, have conversation with your children and try to understand their points. Yes, very important. Yes, okay, thank you, Kes. Don't rush them when they are talking and don't judge them. Give them questions, very important. So these are ways we can create bonding moments. You can go on a car ride together. As you're in there, you both of you are chatting, you're discussing, questions are coming up, and you're able to what? Create bonding moments with them. This is also what we give out in the parenting coaching class. Then also we'll allow them to make mistakes. Very, very important. See, our children will make mistakes. That's one thing we should keep at the back of our mind. Or you need to understand that mistakes are tools in learning. For anybody that must learn, even as we as adults, we make mistakes. But the thing is that you should try to learn through your mistakes. So allow your child to make mistakes. When they make mistakes, when you allow them make mistakes, then teach them how to learn from the mistakes they've made. I saw one video of a small child, I think about either a year or two, trying to climb a table. Is maybe an Oyibo child trying to climb a table. What did the parents do? They made sure that that area is safe for the child. So the child tried to climb, the child fell down, tried to climb again, fell down. The child fell down severally until the child was able to climb that table. I said to myself, if it's an African parent or a Nigerian parent, no parent is going to, or no African parent will allow the child to do that. Why? You want to take charge. You want to control everything. The child, as the child is about to climb, you hear daddy or mommy will shout, hold that child. But this is what an Oyibo parent allowed the child. Why? He knows at that time the child is learning skills. The child is learning to climb. So in that instance, what you can do is just to make the environment conducive for the child. If the child climbs, makes mistakes, the second time he's going to think of, oh, I climbed it this way, let me try this other way. So our children, they will make mistakes in life. But then, when they make mistakes, we should guide them instead of controlling every of their moves. So an important thing to note is that mistakes are learning tools. Then lastly, we will also need to apologize when necessary. We will need to apologize to our children when we wrong them. Maybe when we stopped them harshly, when we over-controlled and we realize our mistakes, let us learn to apologize. Parents, as I said earlier, they are not perfect. They are human beings and they also make mistakes. So when you tell your child, oh, sorry, I was wrong the other time I did this, or you overreacted, all those things are going to build trust. So these are the things that bring about connection and also will bring trust with your child. So these are the 5 ways, we've listed 5 ways or 5 things that makes children rebel. We've also talked about 5 ways to rebuild connections. So which of these steps would you start practicing as a parent of a teen, or you will soon become a parent of a teen? Which of these steps do you think you will need to start practicing? Let us know in the comment section which of practicing. How will you rebuild connection in your child? Then I also want to assure us as parents, teens rebellion is not stubbornness. Somebody can put that down. Teens rebellion isn't about stubbornness. It's not say, oh, my child is stubborn, my child is stubborn. It's often a cry for connection. It's often a cry that your child is seeking for connection. If you started from the beginning of the little playlet we talked about, the unheard cry, that is a cry within your child, a cry for connection. Your child wants to connect more with them, with you. That is why every parent should make out time to connect with your child. Then another thing you should note is that teens rebellion is not a parenting failure. Please, somebody should put it down. One, teens rebellion isn't about stubbornness. Then the second thing, teens rebellion is not a parenting failure. So don't go and start beating yourself hard and say, oh, my child is rebelling because I am failing in my parenting. No, it's not a parenting failure. It's a sign that your child is searching for something. And the best way for you to help your child is to what? Is for you to become the person they trust most. Let you, the parent, become the person that's your child, be it a young child, be it a teenager. Be the person that your child trusts. Yes, teens rebellion is not a parenting mistake. Yeah, it's not a parenting failure. So don't go and beat yourself that you have failed as a parent. Involving them, okay? Yes, those are what we learned. Teens rebellion is not a parenting failure. So this is where we'll be wrapping up. Thank you so much. Teens rebellion is not stubbornness. Yes, thank you so much. So if you found this helpful, if you're yet to subscribe to our channel, please do that. And also invite other parents. Share it to other parents who you know will need this. Then for those that would like to go deeper with us, if you would like to dive deeper with us, if you're not yet in the parenting coaching program and you wish to join, then you will need to book a slot. The price for the parenting coaching is 50,000 naira. Yes, there are so many things you will get in that program. Those that are in the parenting coaching grants, they are already benefiting from our daily connection tool and our accompanying voice note. Every day, we post a connection tool that will help you connect with your child. Then there will also be book review section, which is coming up soon. We have our book review section. Then there will be weekly and monthly webinars. That is where we talk about building family value plans, building media plans in our homes. These are things that will establish systems. We'll talk about how to settle conflicts amongst children. Talk about sibling rivalry. So there are so many things you will gain in that program. Then there are also question and answer sections. Then you have also a community of parents to interact with. So in case you want to go deeper, then you will need to join the parenting coaching program. So if you missed these grants we began February 3rd. If you missed it, then you will need to wait till 24th November 2025. That's when we're going to come bring out another cohort. Our next cohort will be on 24th November. So if you want to join that, you can indicate your interest by booking a slot for 5,000 naira. and you will join in the coaching program. Okay, that being said, I want to thank us once again. We have come to the end of the section. Thank you so much. Thank you, Favor Adeze. Thank you, Joanne Olinze. Thank you, Blessed Cash, and so many others that joined us. I'm glad you joined us today, and I want to tell you I don't take your time for granted. Thank you for always showing up. The important thing to note is that connection before correction always wins. Connect first before you will be able to correct your child. So thank you so much, and do have a fruitful day ahead. Thank you, Kers. It was a wonderful class. I learned a lot. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye. Okay, sorry, there was no question time. In case you have a question, we can also make out maybe 1 or 2 minutes for that. Or if you're in the parenting coaching grant, you can also send in your questions. Or if you're in our general WhatsApp group, also if you have a question from this class, you can drop it there. So do have a lovely day.